So who Anita is, she is a speaker, trainer, and author, the founder and president of Anita Clinton Enterprises and Be Great Global, where she helps faith-filled creatives and entrepreneurs to make a living doing work they actually love. Anita, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. I love that smile. Let's rock it.
I think that I am unmuted now. Well, hello. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. And so I want to kind of kick this thing off with a question. And that question is, how many of you love action-packed superhero type movies? Now, although I can't see you, I know that majority of you are shaking your head, yes, and raising your hand or doing something to signify yes. And I know this because in 2019, before COVID, superhero action-packed movies yielded over $1 trillion. Did you hear me? I said $1 trillion at the box office. Movies like Avengers, Endgame, and Avatar are the highest grossing movies of all times, grossing over $2 billion each. And so my second question would be, why? Why do we love superhero type movies so much? Well, I have a theory. I'm of the belief the reason we love superhero action type movies so much is because in them we see greatness. And instinctively we know that greatness is the realm that we were created to operate on. In those movies, we see ourselves or who and how we should be. We all were created to achieve something great in our lifetime. And my job here today, when we look at all of the turmoil that's happening in the world today, we are the answer. You and I are the answer. There is something inside of each of us that is the answer to every single pain, problem, challenge that we experience in the world. And so I'm here today to call forth your greatness, to call forth your superpower, because the world needs what's inside of you. And so with that, who am I? So I am an author, speaker, purpose strategist, and superhero. Yes, superhero, Anita A.C. Clinton. And my superpower is helping individuals like you ignite your greatness because, as I said, the world is desperately awaiting your superhero to show up. We're waiting for it. In fact, we need it, especially today. So let me share this with you. Everything that you've been through in your life, everything has prepared you for your greatness. The good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, everything that you've been through has prepared you for your greatness. So let me give you an example. At the age of 10, I was 5'11", wearing a size 11 shoe. So that meant I was tall, skinny, with big feet. And my favorite subject was math. And my favorite teacher was the math teacher. And so one day after class, my teacher, Miss Dunbar, was standing at the door as she did after every class, giving us farewell. She stops me and she says, "Anita, have you ever thought about playing basketball?" And I kind of look at her sideways and I'm like, no, not really. And so Miss Dunbar was not only an amazing teacher, math teacher, but she was also the basketball coach. And so she says to me, "Anita, you should try out for the basketball team." Now, because I loved me some Miss Dunbar and I was a little bit of a people pleaser, I said yes. I came out, tried out for the team, and who knew? Well, Ms. Dunbar knew, but I was a natural. I was a natural to the game, and Ms. Dunbar took the time and she worked with me. She taught me the fundamentals of the game, and I perfected my craft. Through basketball, I was able to travel across the United States playing basketball. When I went to high school as a freshman, I was brought up to the the varsity team as a starter, as a freshman. I got a full scholarship to the University of Illinois, Big Ten, Champaign-Urbana. And from there, after my freshman year, I played junior USA basketball. After my sophomore year, I was invited to join the USA Williams Jones Cup team, and we traveled to Taipei, Taiwan, and we won a bronze medal. And so for me, life was great. Basketball was something that I was passionate about, that I loved, and I had perfected my skill on the court. And my hopes and dreams was to be a professional basketball player. I wanted to go to the highest level possible for me with this sport because I had prepared, I had worked hard for it. Everything was going great. Absolutely great. My junior year, our second Big Ten season game, we're at the University of Iowa and we're geeked and we're ready to go. And this particular game was being televised. And so my parents were not able to come, but they were at home watching it on television. 2 minutes into the game, the point guard goes to take the ball out. Now, everybody else has gone down court awaiting us to come down. Point guard takes the ball out, passes the ball into me, and the top part of my body goes to run down the court with the basketball dribbling, but the bottom part does not. Now, I mentioned that this game was televised, and so on the replay, you literally see my knee go just like that. Needless to say, I was done for that game, right? By the time we got ready to go home that night, so we took a chartered bus from Illinois to Iowa. By the time we got ready to go home, my knee had swelled this big. And I'm sitting on the back of the bus with my knee propped up because I can't bend it at this point. And I'm looking down at my knee. And in that moment, I realized my career, yep, it's pretty much over. My hopes, my dreams, my aspirations of playing basketball on the next level, pretty much dead. Yep, I knew it in that moment. And so over the next couple of days, I went through reconstructive surgery. Now, I ripped everything that could be ripped in my knee. I ripped it to shreds. And so they literally had to reconstruct my entire knee. And so I stayed in the hospital for 5 days. And after that, they let me go home and they gave me this strong potency, this strong medicine cocktail, right, to help handle the pain because I had never felt pain like that before. And so in addition to the medication, they gave me this machine, and I can't remember what the machine was called, but the machine's purpose was, as I'm laying on the couch, because at this point, that's all I can do, the machine would lift my knee slowly up and then slowly back down automatically, right? And so here I am, I'm sitting on the couch with the machine and my knee is going up and down and I have nothing else to do but think, right? And so I started thinking, okay, like, Nita, what you gonna do now? Because my entire identity had been wrapped inside Anita, the basketball player. And I say all the time that there are 4 things that we all wanna know, right? Number 1 is identity. Who am I? I was Anita, the basketball player. Now, who am I? Was the question. Number 2 is lineage. Where did I come from? Very clear on where I came from. I was okay there. Number 3 is purpose. Why am I here? Clueless at this point. And number 4 is destiny. Where am I going? Clueless. So of the 4, I knew 1, which was lineage, right? And so I'm sitting on the couch, my knee is still on the machine and it's still going, and I'm trying to determine what's next for me. What are you gonna do now that basketball is no longer an option for you? And in that 4-hour period that I was on this couch, on this machine, still going, my knees still going up and down, I decided that my life was no longer worth living. And so I took that strong medicine cocktail that they had given me and I laid them all out on the table, every single pill. And then I decided, so I used to love grapes and I had purchased a bunch of grapes. And I thought, okay, I'm going to take these pills and I'm just going to just end it all. It's over. But I got these grapes and I don't want these grapes to waste. Now, just think about that for a second, right? I'm getting ready to kill myself. And the thought is, I don't want the grapes to waste. You're killing yourself, girl. The grapes are going to be wasted either way, whether you eat them or not, right? And so I ate all of the grapes, right? It was a whole bag of grapes. I ate all of them. And then I sat on the couch and I took pill after pill after pill. I took as many of the pills as I could possibly handle. I laid down, I said a small apologetic prayer to God because my intention was not to wake up that day. 4 hours later, I wake up and I get to the bathroom, right, as fast as I can, and every single pill that I took came up with the grapes. Now, here's my thought, or here's my theory or my belief. The grapes, there was so many of them, formed a lining across my stomach. And every single pill that I ate came back up whole, undissolved inside of the grapes. The grapes was my saving grace. The grapes that I didn't want to go to waste was my saving grace. A couple hours later, I get to the hospital and the doctors are looking at the potency of the medication that I took. And I overhear one of the doctors say, "It's a miracle she's still alive." In that moment, I began to ask, why was I saved? I knew if it was a miracle that there had to be a reason that I was still here. And so for 20 years after that, I began this search to find out what was the reason I was saved. Why did I wake up 4 hours later when I should have been dead? Right. And so inside of that search, I've done a whole bunch of stuff. Right. So right after the reconstructive surgery, after the suicide attempt that summer, I ended up getting a job at TJ Maxx. And one of the young ladies there, she talked about this sorority all the time. And I'm like, what's a sorority? Like, I was a hooper, right? We had our own sorority fraternity, right? We didn't need any of these other sororities. And so she kept talking about it. And so she was like, why don't you come out to an informational meeting? And so I came out to the informational meeting and I kind of liked what they was talking about, right? And the sorority in my mind gave me an opportunity to fill the void that basketball had for me and no longer was there. And so I applied for the sorority. Well, you had to be invited to apply. So I was invited to apply for the sorority. Now, check this out. Like, this is brilliant. So for the sorority, part of the application process was you had to write a business proposal that covered or presented, where you presented a program or an event for the 6 areas of the sorority. Now, let me just tell you the brilliance in this, okay, for a second. You got this organization, right? And let's just say it's a business, right? Because we literally ran the sorority like a business. But you have this organization that has these 6 areas of focus. You got all of these people that are applying, giving you ideas on what programs and events you can do for the sorority. Whether they got in or not, you still got their ideals for programs and events. And so I got in and we literally ran the sorority like a business. Like, when I say we had every department, we had sales and marketing, we had operations, we had program and product development, we had customer service, we had accounting and finance. Every single aspect of a business we had in the sorority. And what that did for me is it sparked my interest in entrepreneurship, because I got to get a taste of it. And after I left college and graduated and came back home, that taste was still there and I wanted it, right? And so I've started to try out different things. So I've worked with artists, I've been a realtor, I've been a mortgage banker, I've done graphic and web design. I've had 2 magazines. I've been a business consultant, I trained, I write, I'm a podcaster, I'm a blogger. So all of these things that I was doing, I was figuring out, what's my thing? What's my thing? What was I saved for, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what I wanted to know. And so with all of those different things that I did, I began to build arsenal inside of my proverbial genius box, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about that box in a minute. But before we go there, all of the stuff that I've been through, every single thing that I've been through, I've experienced, the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent. I now use it inside of my greatness, inside of sharing my superpower with the world. I can go to my genius box when I'm working with a client and I can pull out whatever they need to help them get from where they are to that place where their greatness can show up on stage. Their superpower can be there for the benefit of us, right? All of that stuff is in there. And the same is for you. Everything you've been through, everything is used inside of your greatness. And so I've been talking a lot about greatness, right? And so at the end of the day, the question may be like, what is greatness, or the zone of greatness, as I like to call it? What does that mean? Well, that's a great question. And I had the answer. So, your zone of greatness is this sweet spot where the thing that you are passionate about, and because of Naveen, Jane, I'm going to add the thing that you are obsessed with meets the thing that you have a genius to do, meets service to others. And when they come together, the end result is impact, right? So, let me break that down. Passion, obsession, right? So, what are the things that you're passionate about? What are the things that you are obsessed about? I so love that. What are the things that you love doing? If you look at your business right now, what are the parts of your business that you absolutely love, that you're obsessed with? And if you can't find one, then you may want to consider that you're in the wrong business. Oprah Winfrey said this: passion is energy. Feel the power that comes from focusing on what excites you. And then yesterday, Naveen said, find the thing that you will die for and live for it. Y'all, when he said that, I dropped. It was a drop the mic moment for me. I was like, I don't need to hear nothing else, although I did listen to every speaker, and every speaker has been great. But that quote right there, find the thing that you will die for and live for it. That did something for me, right? And so I'm going to be using that, giving him credit, of course, as I continue on my journey, because it speaks so well to what I'm talking about when we're talking about your zone of greatness. And so that's passion, obsession, which is the first component of your zone of greatness. And now the second component is genius. And so genius is the natural gifts and talents you were born with, and or the skills, experience, expertise that you have acquired and perfected, right? That perfected part is important, and perfected over time. Now, check this out. All of us was born with at least one natural gift or talent. Everybody got at least one. Some people, most people that I've come in contact with have more than one, but we all have at least one natural gift, a talent. And so that could show up like the ability to sing, the ability to write, the ability to think strategically, the ability to make people laugh, the ability to encourage and inspire people. We all have at least one natural gift or talent. In addition to that, at least one natural gift or talent, we all have acquired skills, experience, and expertise over time. And those that you have perfected now get added to your genius box. So they can look like speaking a second language, computer programming, or leadership skills, right? Now, I know there's this whole conversation around if leaders are born or if they're created. And I'm of the belief that it's one or the other or a combination of. Like, I have seen some babies out the womb who are natural born leaders. Like, for real, for real. You're like, yeah, they're going to be leading somebody and something, right? And so, and then if you look at somebody like me, right, I'm not a natural born leader. However, over time, I have developed skills, expertise, experience that I have perfected to make me an effective leader. And when we're talking about leadership, like, it's like one of those things that I don't think you ever arrive. I think there's always room for growth and development inside of leadership. And so, although I have perfected some components of it, there's still room. I'm still growing inside of that particular area. But genius, right? Natural skill, talent, those that we have acquired and experienced, expertise over time, all are genius. And genius is the ability to do something and do that something exceptionally well. Get that? It's the ability to do something and do it exceptionally well. Another one of my favorite quotes, and this used to be my favorite quote, but I promise you, I think Naveen James' quote, find the thing that you would die for and live for, has replaced this one. So this is going to be my second favorite quote, is by Albert Einstein. And it says, everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life thinking it's stupid. Let me say that again. Everybody, you, me, everybody is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life thinking it's stupid. Now, think about that for a second. Think about a fish. A fish is in its element when it's in water. in water, the fish can do some amazing things. Its genius, its greatness is on full display in water, right? You take that same fish out of its element, out of water, and lean it against a tree. Although it's great and it has a genius here in the water against the tree, all of that doesn't matter. It's completely ineffective there because its element is not leaning against a tree. Its element is in water. And the same is true for you and I. Put us in our element and we can do some amazing things. We can do some great things. We can impact. We can change the world. We could be Naveen Jain. That's all I'm saying. He's in his element, right? He's in his element and his genius is showing up. And look at the impact. Look at the results that he's having, right? Perfect example. But take us out of our element and we try to use our genius outside of our element. Sometimes we'll have some success and it'll work. But most of the time, it's ineffective because we're not in our element, right? So the question becomes, is your business in your element? That's genius. It's the second component of your zone of greatness. And then the third and final component of your zone of greatness is service to others. And so this essentially means when you look at the thing that you've identified as your passion or your obsession, right, in your genius that aligns with that passion or obsession, how does whatever you're doing serve other people? And so I have an example that I love to use, and it's a singing example. And it's so interesting. I use this example because I can't sing. But if singing is your passion or your obsession, the question becomes, is singing your genius? So in other words, can you sing? If we told you to go live on Facebook right now singing a cappella, would the responses be favorable? Can you sing? If the answer is yes, then the question becomes, how does the songs that you sing or the music that you create serve others? And I love to use this example because when we think about music, music is powerful. Different types of music spark different types of emotions. Music can shift your mood. And so let me give you an example. So there was a question earlier from one of you all that said, what do you do in the mornings when you're dragging, right? And so for me, I don't have a lot of dragging mornings, but sometimes I have mornings where I'm dragging and I'm not really motivated to do anything, right? But because of who I am and because of what I do, I always have something to do, right? So I don't necessarily have the convenience of not being motivated to do anything, right? And so there's a song that I listen to, and the song is called Good Morning, and the artist is Mandisa. Now, Mandisa has found her passion, her obsession with music and with song, and she has a genius to sing it, right? And let me show you the impact that this song has on me. So I shared with you that I can't sing, right? So singing is not my genius, right? I got a lot of arsenal in my genius box, but singing is not one of those. So I'm not going to do that to you and sing the song to you. But what I am going to do is I'm going to recite the lyrics kind of sort of on the beat that Mandisa graciously and perfectly sings them. And so here we go. So the song goes like this. And so excuse me if I get a little too hyped because this song just does it for me. Like the lyrics are amazing. The beats are amazing. Like all of it just works. And so it goes like this. I hear the birds singing. Now my alarm's ringing. Get up, get up. Hey, it's a good morning. Wake up to a brand new day. A good morning. Now I'm stepping on my way. Good morning. You give me strength. You give me just what I need. And I can feel the hope that's rising in me because it's a good morning. Y'all, listen to the lyrics of that. She said, and I can feel the hope that is rising in me because it's a good morning. Any morning that I wake up dragging and not motivated, I cut that song on. It's about 3 minutes long. By the time it is finished, I am ready to go save like the whole world. Like for real, for real. The song does it for me. because music is powerful. And Mandisa, once again, is passionate, obsessed with music. She has a beautiful voice, so she has the genius of singing. And she picks songs that has lyrics that are powerful. And look at the impact that that song has on me. It completely shifts my entire day. And so for the person who asked that question, I recommend, if you love music, find a song that just hypes you up like Good Morning by Mandisa does for me. It works every single time. In fact, I was so excited that I listened to the song before I came on with you today. So now I'm like super duper hyped, right? And then I get to share it with you. Amazing. So love it. All right. So your zone of greatness, once again, is that sweet spot where the thing that you are passionate about or obsessed with meets your genius, meets service to others. And when you marry them together, now you have impact, right? Now your superhero shows up. Now your genius shows up. And I'll give you another quick example that kind of goes back to my basketball days. And so when I was playing basketball, especially when I got to the collegiate level. So first of all, being a college athlete on a Big Ten campus or any major campus is the bomb diggity. Like for real, you're treated like a celebrity, like a superstar. In fact, coming into Urbana, so University of Illinois is in Champaign-Urbana. You come in through Urbana. When you came into Urbana, there was this huge billboard at the top that had a picture of me doing my signature finger roll. Like for real, y'all, I can't make this stuff up. The billboard was of me literally doing a finger roll, right? Amazing experience, right? And I can only imagine that experience escalates as you go to the next level, right? Absolutely amazing. And so here I was. I had perfected my talent, right? My skill. Basketball was something that I loved. I enjoyed doing. And with basketball, you got fans, right? And so every time I stepped on the stage or the platform, and I call a stage a platform, anything where you show up and your greatness is on display for your target audience, right? So when I stepped on the basketball court, my stage, my platform, and got to perform for my audience, right? The fans, it was an amazing experience. And so I was one of those flashy players, right? So I would literally make the other person defending me look a little dumb because of the moves that I just did on them, right? And the fans loved it, right? So it was a great opportunity for my greatness to show up and be on full display. Now, what basketball has taught me was one, practice leads to perfection, right? So for me, perfection was doing exceptionally well in the sport inside of what I did. And it also taught me the importance of having a target audience or an audience of people that were following you, that were benefiting, being impacted from your greatness showing up on stage. And so with that, I want to leave you with this. Because you are listening to me right now, I know that your greatness is calling. Even when I listen to and think about all of the other speakers that have come before me, all of them in some form or fashion has been calling forth your greatness, right? So it's calling. And so the question becomes, are you willing to answer the call? Are you willing to find the thing that you would die for and live for it, right? Y'all have no idea how much I love that quote. Are you willing to find the thing that you will die for and live for? Are you willing to ignite your greatness? Are you willing? Because as I stated in the very beginning, the entire world, needs what's inside of you. So come on, let's do this. Thank you so much. You guys have any questions that are out there?
You have fans.
I have fans.
You have fans. I'm one of them. You know, my wife is here, but I'd say, man, I love you. You just,
right back at you. Like, Tab, you're an amazing guy. Like, I'm looking at all these people you're connected to. I'm like, look at this dude. Like, for real. Awesome. This has been an awesome event. I have been here from the beginning, and I haven't missed a thing.
Well, it's been phenomenal, and you're phenomenal. And I know we've got some questions, but I don't even care. I just want to talk to you. Let's see what we have here. Question from John. Love your energy. John, that's not a question. That's a statement. Oh, maybe there's a question.
All right, John, thank you.
Maybe there's a question. We'll give John an opportunity. Okay. Love your energy. How do I know if I've found my superpower? I feel like I enjoy what I'm doing and I'm good at it, but there are times when I feel like I'm missing something.
Yeah, so I think it kind of goes back to what Naveen said, like that statement. Find the thing that you would die for. Is what you're doing right now the thing that you would put your life on the line for? Is it that thing? And then think about, what is the impact that what you're doing is having, right? And when we talk about impact, like, it's subjective, right? So impact is pretty much up to you, right? So you define what that is, but what is the impact that it's having? If you're passionate, obsessed with it, you're good at it, exceptionally well at it, and it's having a major impact on the world, then that's your thing. If it's not doing that, then you may want to go back to the drawing board and consider what are those three, what thing fits those three areas? Because at the end of the day, your greatness is all about impact. Like, it's so funny. I say all the time, like, we're here, like what we have inside of us, it's not for us. It's for the benefit of the world. And the world needs it right now. Oh my God, we need it.
Yeah. And you know what? That's phenomenal. And we got more questions. I want to just ignore the questions. I just want to talk to you. But I'm like, these people want to ask questions, so hopefully I'll get through them and we can ask them. So this is from David. Some days I feel like I've lost my identity. How do I reconnect with my purpose? Oh, we lost you.
Yeah, I had to cough, and so I hit the mute button, but I couldn't unmute myself. So thank you, technicians back there. So I'm sorry, Tab, could you repeat the question again?
Yeah, this is from David. Some days I feel like I've lost my identity. How do I reconnect with my purpose?
Oh, yeah. So identity, boy, that's one of those huge things, right? But once again, purpose is genius, passion, obsession, and service to others, right? When you find that place, like when I found mine, of all the things that I said that I did, when I got here to this point, it was like, yeah, this is it. And when I say I'm excited every morning, for the most part, to get up and go to work, right? To get up to do what I do, when you're there, you found it. Like, that's your sweet spot. That's the place, because you're excited about it. And once again, as Naveen said, you're willing to lay down your life for it. I'm willing to lay down my life for what I do because I believe in it so much. And I know that when people are walking in their greatness, it not only transforms their life, but it transforms the experience that we all have in the world. And so as many people as I can help connect to their purpose, I'm going to do it because it changes everything.
I love it. This is from Brooke. Do you have any tips for cultivating passion?
So kind of the same thing. I keep saying the same thing. So for me, I said I was on a 20-year journey, right? And so during that 20 years, I was testing out things to see when I managed the artists. So I managed a hip hop artist, a hip hop group, a painter, and a television personality. When I say I hated that job because it was like babysitting kids, I was very clear. Nope. That's not it. That's not what I'm here to do, right? But I kept trying different things and testing out different things until I found the one that when it got here, it was like, yep, this is it. This is the one.
That is awesome. So this is from Alan. I need more of your wisdom in my life. What's the best way to connect with you?
Yeah, so I am on social media, and so I'm really antisocial, y'all. It's so interesting. I'm like, I believe in God, so I was like, God, you got jokes, right? Because look at what I do, and I'm antisocial. So, but I'm on social media, and I'm getting better, right? So I have some help, but I'm getting better. But I'm Anita. I'm AC Clinton, and the number one everywhere on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. AC Clinton 1. I just started a YouTube channel that we're starting to promote and market. It's under Be Great Global. And then my website is begreatglobal.com.
That's awesome. And she goes by AC. I call her Anita because that's what her mama calls her.
That is what my mother calls me.
And so if her mother calls her Anita, that's what I'm calling her. So one of the things, Anita, one of the things that really resonated with me was that thing that Naveen had said about and I brought this up earlier, don't label what happened in your life or what you experienced because you don't know what's coming, and it's not fair to label it at that moment. When you had that career-ending injury, you labeled it.
I
right?
sure did.
We all do that. But now looking back at your life, how do you label that moment?
Yeah, so that moment is now an intricate part of my story, right? I can tell that story to connect with just about anybody, because whether you've tried to commit suicide or not, if you've tried it, you can relate, right? And even if you haven't, but everybody is searching for purpose for the most part, unless you're already walking in it. If you're not walking in it, you're searching for it. And so if that's you, you can relate. So although in the moment, like I need to go back and listen to the lady from last night, like how she kind of didn't label what happened to her either, and how she kind of reprogrammed. Like that was amazing to me. I wasn't able to do that, but when I look back over it now, like once again, everything is used inside your greatness. And so that story, although at the time was horrible, right? That whole experience was horrible. Now I can look back on it and see how I benefited from it, right? Which is weird, but it's definitely a part of the story that connects people, that pulls people in.
And it's not weird when you think about, what you've given to the world because of that, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's like when I think back about just the realization that my business had crapped out, and we've had this discussion, but I look back at that and I'm like, man, just what a blessing that is in my life, because it opened me up to things I would never have had that experience. And the reason why I say that is it's important for people to realize that when they have those traumatic things, that it may seem like it's the end. It's probably the beginning of something beautiful.
Yeah. And let me add this. So, in my family, we're pretty prideful. And so that was the secret. 3 people in my family knew about that experience. Mm-hmm. And so that was the secret. And so being able now to openly share that, and there's a whole bunch of freedom that comes with that as well.
Yeah. Amen. I mean, it's a game changer when you can be vulnerable and be powerful at the same time. So, Anita, wow, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
I'm glad you've been here the whole time. You are an absolute blessing and just a beautiful soul. So thank you for being here with us.
Thank you so much. And I do have a free gift for everybody. So it's an ebook that I wrote, and it's called The 7 Proven Steps System to Kickstart Your Life's Purpose. And so you can get that at begreatglobal.com/kickstart.
Welcome to Refiners. Refiners is an organization of business owners and business professionals that are looking to improve their business and personal performance, just like you. As a Refiners member, you will have the opportunity to build connections with like-minded individuals from your industry. Join our amazing community for free at refiners.io.